Hello, and today will be the first actual episode on how to make a Roblox game. So last time you learned how to make a game and control your camera. This time it will be primarily, we'll be learning about terrain editor and parts. So first of all, parts. A part is something, it's a three-dimensional object inside of the game. There are plenty of different types of parts, except we will be just focusing on the part today. Yeah. And we will be talking about the terrain editor. So before we start modifying, go to Model at the top bar. Then you will see Rotate and Move. You'll see right here, it'll be like 0 degrees and 0 studs. A stud is one of these tiny little squares right here, and that is like a snap to grid, as it says right here. I like to keep my rotate on 11.25 and move on 0.1 studs. You can set your snap to grid to these settings or not. Okay, well, so to select a part, you go ahead and click this select if you haven't already, but if you have, you won't need to. So if you've already have it, it will be dark. So then you go ahead and click on the part you wish to modify, and then boom, now you have that part selected. Now if you click over here, we have the move tool. What this will do is change the part's position. Move up, down, left, right, and so on. Then we have scale. This one will change the part's size, so it can be super big, like that, or it could be super small, like that. See? Super small. And then there is the rotate option. By using the rotate option, you can rotate the item on all three axes. So now that you know how to move, scale, and rotate a part, we will be talking about how you can make your part look better, I guess. So, if you don't see this thing over here, it's called Properties. And maybe you have the Properties tab at the bottom right corner, but if you don't, you want to go all the way up to View, then click Properties. Once you have Properties showing, I personally like to put it here, but it doesn't really matter where you put it. So there are a few properties we can change for the part. So the first one is the brick color. When you go click on it, it gives you a big selection of colors. Except if you don't like any of the colors they give to you, you can go ahead and click the color variable, and it will bring up a select color menu. And boom. Then we have material. There is a lot of materials now. So we got like force field, which is supposed to look like a force field, but it just looks weird. It's because it's touching the ground, but we have basalt as a texture. Oh, very nice. We have cobblestone. Well, I mean, we got like almost anything you can think of. I'll just set this to sandstone, and then we have this part. And if you go look right over here, we have reflectance. Reflectance is how much it will reflect the sun's rays. It's like how much of a mirror it will be, kind of. Reflectance doesn't make a difference depending on the material you are using, so sandstone won't make a difference. Except, let's say I'm using glass as a material, reflectance will make a difference. We also have transparency, which will just change how transparent the part is. And then right down here, all the way down in the collision section, we have can collide. So can collide means whether a player or an object can touch it or not. If you turn can collide off, a player can go walk through it. If you turn can collide on, a player will need to go over it or around it. They can't go through it. And then finally, in the part section, we have anchored. So what anchored means, it will stay in place. If a part is anchored, it will not move unless you change its position. Except if it's not anchored, a player could just push it anywhere they like. We will turn on anchored. Oh wait, there's also another one, sorry. We have shape. So you can change the shape to a ball, a cylinder, or the one we had before, a block. Okay, so that is basically everything you need to know at a beginner's level, basically, for parts. And then you have the terrain editor. If you don't see the terrain editor, all you need to do is go to the home section and click editor in the terrain section. And then you will find the terrain editor. I don't really remember where it is by default, but I do think it's on this side of the screen. So what we are going to be clicking is edit. And then you want to go to add. And then if you go look down here, we have brush and material settings. So we have a bunch of materials like cracked lava, limestone, pavement, cobblestone, basalt, wood planks, salt, water, ice, rock, and etc. You can go ahead and select the material you want. I will be just selecting cracked lava. And then right up here, we have brush settings. So we can change the base size, which changes the size of the brush. So if you click with this, it will create terrain. If it looks like this, that means the texture is loading, and you'll need to wait a bit. If it doesn't, that means you have a good computer, and good for you. But for me, the texture is loading. There we go. Now we have the cracked lava texture. And so now you can go ahead and place down your texture, your terrain anywhere you want. So to paint your terrain, it's basically all the same things, except this time you're not adding, you're just changing the material that's already there. So when you use the grass material, you might find there is these moving grass blades. If you do not like using these moving grass blades, to change it, you go to terrain and go into your properties tab if you don't have it open, and go ahead and toggle the decoration variable. Honestly, to me, it looks better with decorations than without, but it's your opinion. Skills. So, yeah, this is, episode 1. See you guys another time.